Ashe brings a lot of utility and playmaking potential to the table. This more proactive playstyle is what separates her from most other AD carries, and in this Ashe guide you get everything you need to know in less than 5 minutes. Yes, Ashe is definitely a utility marksman, but that does not mean Ashe would be lacking in terms of damage. Your damage is in fact quite high and consistent, and Ashe's real drawback as a champion is her lack of defensive options, making her an easy target for enemy assassins. Therefore, it is optimal to play Ashe with enchanter supports who can protect you with shields and peeling effects such as Zilean, Renata, and of course Janna. The main reason why people hold that misconception concerning Ashe's damage output is her passive. Many players mistakenly assume you would be trading away your critical strike damage for your on-hit slow, but this is simply not true. You actually end up getting both. Yes, your first auto attack only slows your target and deals no crit damage, but every attack after that will both reapply the slow and deal bonus damage according to your critical strike chance and modifiers. Auto attacks are pretty much all of Ashe's damage, which further gets reinforced by your Q. Your Q is only available after 4 basic attacks, which already tells you that Ashe greatly benefits from attack speed and not as much from big individual crits. This obviously has huge implications for your rune and item choices. Ashe's W is your bread and butter spell, allowing you to not only poke down opponents from range, but also to kite and chase them since W applies Ashe's passive as well. Ashe's E is purely a utility spell, but it is highly useful when you consider that Ashe is immobile and rather helpless when caught out. Face-checking bushes and Fog of War is especially dangerous for you, but tools like E, and also your W to some extent, enable you to safely scout for ganks and traps. Ashe's signature spell, however, is her ultimate. Your passive already comes with great kiting and catch potential, but your ultimate takes this even further. Its hitbox is massive, so especially after connecting your passive slow, it will be almost impossible for your enemy to dodge this crazy spell. In solo queue games, positioning mistakes happen all the time, and Ashe's ultimate is arguably one of the best tools for punishing these mistakes. So catching your opponent is the first step, but in order to kill them, you need to enhance your long-ranged auto attacks as much as possible. Therefore, your optimal rune page is Lethal Tempo, Presence of Mind, Legend Bloodline, and Coup de Grace, with Biscuit Delivery and Approach Velocity secondary. Lethal Tempo does everything Ashe could ever ask for. This keystone shines during extended teamfights and skirmishes, which are exactly the situations Ashe needs for maximum damage output. Ashe's attack range of 600 is already quite massive, and Lethal Tempo's additional bonus range in combination with your passive slow makes you very tough to deal with. Since you rely on catching enemies with W and R, you cannot afford to run out of mana. Therefore, Presence of Mind and Biscuit Delivery are mandatory, so you will always be ready to punish an enemy's mistake by going all in with your spells. The most impactful minor rune on Ashe, however, is Approach Velocity. Due to your passive, this rune will provide you with a massive movement speed boost whenever you hit an opponent with literally anything. The enemy cannot afford even one misstep. Well, you still have to ensure you are actually the one winning the fights you pick, so your first item is always Immortal Shield Bow. Ashe does not want fights to end quickly, or else she won't be able to unlock all her damage. Therefore, the protection against burst damage Shield Bow provides is extremely valuable for Ashe's playstyle. The lifesteal on this item is also highly impactful, since lifesteal is strongest during extended duels in which you auto-attack a lot. Your next item is Wit's End, which is also an excellent duelist item due to its enhanced kiting and massive on-hit damage. Kiting playstyles always thrive off of both attack speed and movement speed, so in addition to Wit's End, you buy a Zeal item next. I recommend Runan's Hurricane to apply your passive and Wit's End's on-hit damage to multiple enemies at once, but if you need healing reduction, you can get Mortal Reminder here instead. Now for your next item, you always get Infinity Edge. With 3 attack speed items and attack speed boots, you can finally afford to buy more attack damage, since your kiting should be as good as it needs to be by now. Some people go for Rageblade instead here, but I believe this is a mistake. Rageblade substitutes the percent damage increase from your passive with flat on hit damage, while also amplifying Wit's End. Yes, this is definitely a net positive, but Rageblade also completely eliminates your amplified slows, leaving you with only your passive space slow, and this just unnecessarily hurts your kiting potential. For your last item, you pretty much always want Lord Dominic's Regard. This is by far your biggest damage item at this point, since even enemies who have not bought any bonus armor will still have massive base armor due to simply leveling up. But as you can see, Ashe is all about decision making and kiting, and if you want to learn how the best Ashe players in the world are going about this, just click the link on your screen right there.